This document explores human resilience through extraordinary life stories. We analyze the journeys of 10 individuals who, through their courage and mental strength, redefine the limits of existence in the face of unprecedented physical challenges. Number 10, Axel Hahn, the symbol of genetic resistance. Axel Hahn embodies a leading figure in the fight against rare genetic pathologies, illustrating an iron will from the very first moments of his existence. Afflicted with Cloves syndrome, an extremely rare condition that affects bodily development, he had to face particularly bleak medical prognoses upon his birth in 2022. His journey is marked by major physical trials, including cycles of chemotherapy and complex surgical interventions aimed at stabilizing his condition. The evolution of his story took a decisive turn with the decision to use mechanical prosthetics, transforming his disability into an opportunity for movement and autonomy. Supported by a devoted family environment, Axel does not define himself by his physical limitations, but by his ability to rewrite his own destiny. Today, he represents a modern warrior whose trajectory highlights that the value of a life lies in the resilience manifested with every breath and in the pride of the path traveled despite adversity. This metamorphosis emphasizes the vital importance of medical innovation coupled with a psychological strength capable of overcoming major physical obstacles. His quiet strength now inspires a new generation of researchers. Number 9, Verdant Johi, the challenges of social and medical integration. The story of Verdant Johi, originally from Gujarat, highlights the complexities related to atypical physical malformations and the shortcomings of contemporary support systems. Born with a physical abnormality in his right foot, this young boy navigates a reality where physical functionality is confronted with persistent social stigma. Although capable of moving independently, Verdant suffers a form of exclusion dictated by others' perceptions, highlighting a major issue in our society: the judgment passed on difference. His father, in a constant quest for medical solutions, illustrates the struggle of families to obtain answers in a context lacking specialized information. This story calls for a collective awakening regarding the importance of human compassion and adapted medical support. Verdant does not ask for a miracle, but simply aspires to social integration and an understanding that transcends aesthetic prejudices to focus on his fundamental dignity as a human being. His courage reminds us that human dignity does not depend on appearance, but on the strength of character displayed. Education remains the primary tool for breaking cycles of marginalization. Number 8, Suman Kumari, the fight against isolation and prejudice. Suman Kumari represents the invisible suffering of those marginalized by unexplained physical conditions in the heart of modern metropolises. In Delhi, her life has been marked by a gradual withdrawal from public life due to a severe facial alteration, transforming her dreams of a medical career into an existence of forced solitude. Her trajectory illustrates the cruelty of social interactions where appearance often takes precedence over the intrinsic value of the individual. Despite the weight of rejection and mockery, Suman maintains a noble soul and an absence of resentment that commands admiration. Her story is an indictment against aesthetic prejudice and an invitation to deep empathy. Waiting for simple human recognition, she reminds us that true beauty is an inner light that persists despite hardships. Her parents, driven by unwavering faith, continue to hope for a medical intervention that would allow their daughter to finally be perceived for who she is, an ordinary person aspiring to a shared life. She thus becomes a powerful voice for those we prefer to ignore, demanding a fresh look at our common humanity. Her silence holds a power that few suspect. Number 7, Mary Magdalene, body modification as a manifesto of autonomy. Mary Magdalene treats the human body as a work of art in constant mutation, refusing traditional concepts of normality to embrace radical aesthetic transformation. Through a series of extreme surgical interventions, ranging from eye tattoos to massive augmentations. She positions herself as the absolute master of her own biology. Her journey is marked by direct confrontations with vital medical risks, which she assumes with unfailing determination. For her, every incision and every modification represents a step toward the total reclamation of her physical identity, far from society's expectations and judgments. Mary does not seek public approval, but exists as a living example of individual freedom and cultural resistance. Her story constitutes a precious document for behavioral psychology, illustrating how an individual can choose to move through pain to become the version of themselves they deliberately designed, transforming their existence into a battlefield for personal autonomy. This radical commitment challenges our own perceptions of bodily freedom and the quest for self in this world. This radical autonomy redefines the boundaries between the biological and the artificial. Number 6. Morgan. The quest for identity and the strength of acceptance. Morgan offers a poignant perspective on the challenges related to intersex identity and self-reconstruction after a childhood marked by confusion. Raised as a gender that did not correspond to her inner essence, she had to navigate through deep emotional trauma to finally embrace her true nature. Her relationship with her partner Curtis constitutes a central pillar of her resilience, offering a shield against often implacable societal discrimination and judgment. Despite painful personal trials, particularly related to motherhood, Morgan has managed to transform her experience into a message of hope and guidance for those going through similar identity crises. Her journey teaches that an individual's love and value are not limited by biological categories or appearances, but stem from a sincere connection between brave hearts. She stands today as a symbol of compassion, proving that the light of personal truth can dispel the darkest shadows of the past. Through her authenticity, she breaks taboos by encouraging everyone to explore their own truth with exemplary, sincere audacity. She embodies the peace found after years of turmoil. Number 5. Tiffany Adams. Transforming tragedy into power. Tiffany Adams illustrates extraordinary resilience following a devastating accident that radically changed her life's trajectory at the age of 17. Faced with irreversible paralysis of the lower limbs, she refused to let this situation define her limits or her value. Instead of accepting a fate marked by despair, Tiffany undertook a remarkable identity metamorphosis, using her wheelchair as a lever for power rather than a symbol of restriction. Today, she asserts herself as an icon of physical and mental strength, proving that true power emanates from the capacity to transmute pain into a source of inspiration. Her journey is an active demonstration that miracles are not always passive events, but can be created by an iron will. Living a vibrant and uncompromising existence, she reminds humanity that the most insurmountable barriers are often those we erect in our own minds, and that every challenge can become the foundation of a new greatness. Her exemplary resilience transforms every past trial into an engine of positive change to inspire the world's future generations. Tiffany thus becomes a lighthouse guiding those shipwrecked by life. Number 4. Melinda. Vitality beyond biological constraints. Melinda defies the laws of biology with an energy that contradicts the alarming diagnoses received at birth. Afflicted with sacral agenesis, a condition limiting the structure of her spine, she nevertheless leads a life of rare intensity as she approaches her 40s. Passionate about extreme sports and strong sensations, she uses her physical strength and indomitable spirit to conquer demanding environments, from surfing to off-road tracks. However, behind this fierce independence lies a universal human quest, the desire to be loved for her essence rather than judged for her morphology. Melinda does not seek pity, but an authentic connection based on the harmony of souls. Her story is a living testimony to the spirit's capacity to transcend bodily frontiers thanks to faith and family support. She embodies hope that within a vast humanity, every singularity can find an echo of understanding and respect, proving that resilience is the engine of fulfillment. Her communicative energy teaches us that life is a precious adventure that deserves to be lived with overflowing passion. Every tamed wave bears witness to her brilliant victory over fatality. Number 3, Aaron Ball, circus arts as a vehicle for rebirth. Aaron Ball represents excellence in the art of reconstruction after a major physical trauma that occurred in 2014 in the forests of Ontario. Having lost her legs, she chose the path of dignity and aerial artistic expression to overcome depression and doubt. By mastering circus disciplines, particularly aerial silk, she transformed her body into an instrument of grace and freedom, defying gravity in both a literal and figurative sense. Beyond her personal performances, she has created an inclusive educational space where disability is perceived not as a barrier, but as an unprecedented creative material. Her approach refuses victimization and prioritizes absolute self-mastery, showing that the absence of lower limbs in no way prevents the spirit from taking flight. Erin proves that creativity is a powerful remedy, capable of transforming the ashes of an accident into a spectacular career, inspiring all those who seek to redefine their own physical potential. Through movement, she reinvents the notion of physical performance by injecting a deep spiritual and saving dimension. Her aerial choreography is a true ode to life. Number 2, Dali, an odyssey of survival and healing. The journey of Dali, known as Li Dao, is an epic marked by a fierce struggle for life in the face of an extreme medical condition. Born in Vietnam with a massive facial tumor, she lived under the constant threat of fatal respiratory complications until her transfer to the United States for life-saving surgery. This 12-hour intervention represented much more than a medical feat. It was the beginning of a new existence for this woman, whose will to survive moved the international community. Today, at 32, she wears the scars of her battle like medals of courage, symbolizing an inner strength that transcends traditional standards of beauty. Her physical and emotional recovery process teaches that true identity is forged in perseverance and faith in life. Dali remains a striking example of human capacity to endure unimaginable trials to regain dignity and a hope that only extraordinary resilience can offer. Her miraculous survival symbolizes the victory of hope over the deepest despair. Offering a light to wounded hearts, she expresses infinite gratitude toward those who saved her. Number 1, Alizia Almira, the artificial redefinition of identity. Alizia Almira distinguishes herself by her deliberate will to reject natural beauty standards to transform herself into an icon of artificial aesthetics. By investing considerable resources into complex surgical procedures, she seeks to embody the image of a perfect plastic doll, thereby defying the laws of aging and biology. For Alicia, this process is not a simple superficial rebellion, but a form of ultimate control over her own being in an era of rapid technological progress. She embraces the risks inherent in her choices to achieve a singular aesthetic ideal, raising deep sociological questions about individual freedom and the limits of self-creation. Her story illustrates the clash between traditional values and the modern desire for self-mastery, where the body becomes a canvas that one shapes according to one's own desires. She thus represents a unique facet of the contemporary human experience, where identity is a voluntary and assumed construction. Her bold choice forces us to reflect on the evolution of the human condition in the face of the infinite possibilities of technology. Alicia explores identity territories still unknown to our society. Number 11, unexpected cases. This image tells of two battles. On the left, a man with an exceptional neck who became the subject of viral debates to the point of attracting the attention of the Guinness World Records. On the right, another man, marked by a rare condition, long mocked. Their story recalls a simple truth. Behind every difference hides a courageous soul. Let us not judge. Let us learn to respect. These accounts testify to the incredible diversity of the human experience. Through pain or choice, these 10 individuals prove that the spirit can transcend the flesh. Their courage encourages us to rethink our own limits and to value every destiny. They remind us, finally, that the strength of the human soul remains the most beautiful bulwark against the adversity of today's world. Every word written here celebrates the eternal glory of perseverance.